Good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert Bishop from RB Model Works, coming to you from Moscow, Idaho. Today we are going to go through a build progress on my Richard Petty 1973 Dodge Charger from Salvino's JR Models. I had not intended on doing a full detail build, but damn, here we are. So this is the livery that I'm doing. Thanks to Paul Ellman, we have a nice set of yesterday number 2 Dave Marcus Depper Enterprises decals. I'm not sure. I'm going to test a few of them. I've got extra decals, so I'm going to test a few of these and see if I need to clear coat them first. So we're going to start with the body. God, I still just love this body. What I used was for paint, I used Tahiti blue gloss, and that's what I actually used on the chassis, but it was a little too dark. So what I did is I mixed some of my own concoction with that to produce the color that I wanted. Came out more like grabber blue. The hood, you can kind of see the line there. Underneath this indentation, this underhood panel created a divot on top. I've not quite got that completely out of there, so I'm going to have to redo that. But this is ready to clear coat. I need to do just a buff sand on it, just to get it as smooth as possible before I clear coat it with a 2K clear by Speed Coat. Alright, so let's move on from the body. And let me tell you, test fitting this thing, this ranks right up there with Tamiya fit and finish. Everything's just dropping into place. So far you can see I've got my seat belt started. Started those last night. I'm going to continue on with those. Get out the chassis here. Working on getting this done today, but you can see from the chassis I put some fittings in back here. This cooler here for the rear end is a piece from an old MPC kit I decided to use. The rear diff pulleys are from offthesprue.com. You can go over there and check out his stuff. He's got some great turn stuff. And then also got the electronics wired up. I got the fan and the pump back here all run. See, I got the fire extinguisher detailed. I use Molotov for the straps, parts box decals, and then Mr. Model bezel for that. Nice tight fit on the package tray that goes back there. Just love that. Still have to worry about detailing this. I do have the battery started. I will get the battery lines and stuff done soon and run. So we can put that up here. Alright, next. I did... Oh, and by the way, the red that I painted this was TCP True Color Paint Victory Red. These come in a little plastic jar, but the ones I got were so old I had to reduce them down about 70-80%. So I bought a bunch of these 1 ounce glass jars for, it was a dozen for 12 bucks on eBay. I've got, I think, 3 dozen more coming. The roll kit or roll cage for this kit just fits absolutely seamless. It fits right in those holes. I used heat shrink tubing to make the roll bar padding on that, and the front firewall piece. You can see, I'll get my little pointer doohickey here. You can see I added screen to the front and back of these coolers. This is an overflow reservoir. You got the STP oil filter. And then this is a homemade overflow catch can I made from aluminum tubing. I have multiple sizes of this stuff. Just telescope them, put them in the middle, and then the bottom and the top, I have a bunch of oil caps, fuel caps, stuff like that from Detail Master. I just throw one of those on it and off we go. And then the oil filter, there's a little tiny groove on the top of the oil filter for the fittings that doesn't fit. So what I use is I use Plastruct 0.6 hex rod and paint it silver and blue and looks like anodized blue line. And then on this tank I got 280-degree fittings on this. One will go up here to the engine, one will go to the oil filter. And then you can see here I've got the brake master cylinder wired into a distribution block. Once I put this on the chassis, I'll run a line to the back and run a line to the front. So, and then the wheels. I love Salvino's rubber wheels. They're like real rubber tires. I just love them. They clean up nice. They sand down nice. Typically I spray my tires with tire stencil. This time I've got dozens of Goodyear decals. So this time I decided, because I wanted, for the 74, they had little grooves in the tires still, and I wanted to go with that. And by the way, this comes with 3 full sets of wheels. You get a set of steel wheels, you get a set of chrome 5-spoke, you get a set of white styrene 5-spoke. These are none. These are, just because I love the old model house rims, these things fit right in. These are PPP wheels. They're the 70s, early 70s Goodyears. And then I did valve stems from RB Motion. They do some great turned aluminum stuff. And of course Mike's over at Mike's Decals has these power slide wheel weights decals. And then once I get them all set up and they dried, what I do is I take the dull coat and some flat black paint and make sure I use my lacquer. And this is how I know, because it's a 5 number versus 4. That way I'm not mixing it with enamel. But what I do is I take one of these little sticks and I just dip it in there and put a small amount of flat black in with my dull coat. And then I spray my tires down with the dull coat. And it just dulls it takes the really bright white out of the wheels. And then of course I detailed it with some Tamiya wash and the Molotow chrome pin on there. So those are ready to go. As soon as I get the front suspension done today, I'm going to get those mounted. And on the back, I still have to, since there's a ejector pin mark here, I sanded them down. I need to use some photo etch nut and bolt for these and install these with the shocks. I haven't painted the shocks yet. But once I get that done, it'll be good to go. And then the piece de resistance, the 426 Hemi. You can see I made a very haphazard attempt at doing transmission linkage. It is nowhere near accurate. I just did it for looks. And then the top of the motor, you can see I put a coil on there. Fittings by Jim at Salvino's, Protect wire. It's got carb linkage. The spring is a muffler spring. It's a top studio product. I get it from Upscale Hobbies. Then the red spark plug wire is Detail Master. And then the pulleys I had marked at offthesprue.com. He did those for me especially because I wanted a double groove pulley. And then the original distributor I was going to put on there, which is Protec, it just wasn't fitting. So what I did is I found Detail Master one, which is a little bit smaller. It's still leaning a little bit, but at the same time, it fits underneath. I didn't want to have to modify this overflow, this cross flow tube. I just wanted to keep it as is. And then these are some radiator caps from Detail Master. So that Hemi's ready to drop in and go. I haven't weathered the headers yet, but I'm going to do that as well. And then some of the scraps over here I haven't got to. These I'm going to probably manufacture out of tubing. The shocks, I've got the wheel to paint. I just have a lot of little odds and ends to finish up before I start doing final assembly. I'm going to try to get chassis complete on a rolling stock today, and at the very least get the car clear coated. So thank you guys very much for joining. If you like the video, please hit the like button down below, and we'll see you on the next trip. Thank you very much.